Hello and welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things you think about and some things you don't. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Daydream.
Your wellness warrior, Susan Ned.
And as always, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today we're going to talk about something. We want to make sure that it's not taken in such a way that is macabre or gruesome or grueling in any way for anyone. But we're going to talk about today death technology. Now, as you very well know, technology has infiltrated every aspect of our lives. That's why we're living.
Yes.
Right. Now it's get ready to infiltrate your life as it ends. Now, God originally put the desire to live forever in our hearts. But that desire was thwarted by Adam and Eve, disobeying God, thus bringing death as part of our life cycle. Mm-hmm. Now, when Adam and Eve sinned, they were deprived of the tree of life and hence of physical immortality. It is therefore man's lot to return to the dust of the ground. Genesis 3, verse 22. Today, such as life, man is trying to circumvent the two natural cycles that God gave us, life and death. Mm-hmm. Life is living. Death is a state of rest from the toils and cares of this world. Technology has now crept into our lives, offering alternative ways of not dying. They have robotic clones as well as cryogenics. Scientists are feverishly trying to invent ways to defy aging. So now the question becomes, would you turn a loved one into a robot clone? Rising numbers of people want to live on as machines by uploading their brains. U.S. Research Foundation is working to transfer consciousness to machines. More than 56,000 people have already signed up to upload their minds. The robot clones could be available in as little as 10 years. One of the work prototypes is a robotic clone, and we will have a video of her. Her name is Biana48. Mm-hmm. The gentleman who is working on this process, being an avatar, where they put your information in, his wife, obviously he's white, his wife is black, so he created Biana48. Is it possible that we can do that in a few minutes? We have a few minutes. But like I said, in as little as a few years, we will be hearing about it because technology has crossed over now into death. I was a little surprised when I saw that people were actually putting funeral services and death, wakes and stuff on Facebook.
Oh my goodness.
That's, yes.
Well, I get that for why celebrities are doing it, because they're always about the limelight, and I'm a bigger and better celebrity.
Even on the way out. Right, yeah. But
just vanity and pride, I tell you.
All that goes with you.
Keep the money coming in.
All that goes with you.
But for a regular person,
I fail to see
why.
Unless they have a private page just for their family, and there's this.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Because I would hope that you'd be there and pay your respects.
But see, you have an outlet to not have to do that. Again, the world and technology is separating us.
Well, I can tell you now, show up for me. don't hit me up. Don't send a message via Facebook. Oh, Jesus.
Don't try and think. But that's where the world is headed now, to where there's no empathy. There's nothing other than, sending an emoji or this, little sad crying face or whatever it is. But I think when someone has passed away, the people in repose should be respected. I don't think they need to be plastered all over Facebook. I think that is a personal, quiet, family, sacred moment.
Right.
It is not something that, some things you just don't put out there, and I think death is very personal. And while it is a situation now to where, again, it has become a part of our life. God gave us life at one point, and then he gave us he wanted all of us to live forever until man screwed it up. So now we have to deal with Adam and all his stuff.
Right,
but
with our consequences.
death doesn't have to be macabre.
See,
it's a celebration.
Absolutely. And the fact that people get to live as long as they do now in comparison to what it used to be, if you've lived the kind of life you're supposed to live, you should be able to celebrate that and be joyous about that.
And homecoming is not so much black. And I read somewhere, I had something information here that I'm going to let you read this because it's something about the Spanish culture.
Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
That's exactly what D does, whatever it is.
Dia de los Muertos. So it's when you see all the sugar skulls.
Go ahead.
Dia de los Muertos.
Oh yes.
She makes me wish I could roll my R's or something. I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting it.
Right. So with the culture, it happens after All Saints Day, and so what it is, it's a celebration of life. So when you see the animated movie, The Book of Life, and Coco, that's what it's about. It's about celebrating that person's spirit, celebrating their memory, and celebrating who they were in the life that they lived. Well, and and not so much mourning. And so we'll also have a novena, a rosario. Being Catholic, for the majority of the Latin culture, you're going to pray the rosary days leading up to the anniversary of your death. But it's also in remembrance. So there's food, there's drink, and not necessarily alcohol. It's up to each family, but the hosting family will provide that to the guests, because we're thanking them for coming to celebrate and remember, our loved one. And so that's what the celebration of Dia de los Muertos is about. The Day of the Dead is to celebrate their life, and you'll even see where people will build altars, and it will be some sort of representation of their loved ones who have passed. It could be for a certain individual or for a group of people. It just depends. But you'll even see little trinkets. It could be something that was like their favorite flower, their favorite color, their favorite food.
That's about loving them.
Absolutely.
Even then and now. That's about loving them.
Absolutely.
In repose or otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Right. And seeing what I've never understood, and I saw this, even in high school in the 90s, that people would take pictures.
See, again, that was disrespectful.
Like next to the casket.
That's what I mean about putting it on Facebook.
I promise you.
Why would
and
you
this
do
was
that?
before Facebook, people.
Before
so that's
Facebook.
what I never understood.
Poor taste has existed long before Facebook.
Absolutely.
Facebook only exacerbated the poor taste that people have.
See, and I never felt comfortable enough to ask someone, why would you take that picture? Obviously because they're in mourning.
Well, that's
so I just felt it was inappropriate to ask them, why would you even take the picture?
And I'm going to give you an answer afterwards, because
they had
me take a picture. So I'm going to let you know why. When I was in my early 20s. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we'll be right back. Again, it's Death Technology. Give us a call here at the studio, 713-789-0096, or comment via Facebook Live. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you going to do the events then?
I never read it.
Okay, do you have any information? Just keep it going. Okay. We'll have to do it. We got to do that. And I need you to do my image, but I got to write your thing for my image. I haven't done it yet. So
okay.
We'll do it next week.
You want me to post some comments about the FedEx?
Yeah.
That'd be good too.
By calling 713-719-0096. Stay tuned.
So she's out of state. She's in Memphis, and she wants to.
So do you want me to come back in with the video?
Yeah, do the video, please.
Introduce it, or
Yeah, we can do it.
You go straight into it, or?
No, I'll introduce it. Are you going to come back in after you gonna read that? Oh, you're not reading. You're just gonna post it. So
I'll post it.
Yeah, this is big business. Right here. Yeah, whatever you want. That's why I want to make sure we keep conversation.
Because I saw the same. You've got some of the same stuff that I read,
because
and I was like, oh my gosh.
This is where I realized this needs to be a topic, but I do want to come back in. Yeah.
This is bonkers. That's so funny that you said that. Because I asked the same question when they asked me to do it. And I was
Why?
like,
Yeah, I was like, I saw pictures and there's so and so with my mom and why?
And they only asked me to take two.
That's what I didn't get.
I'm like, who wants to remember that?
I don't even know where that is. Trust me when I say, I don't believe anyone still has it. But then his brother, and my other uncle passed away. They had someone do that for him.
See, I've never seen that. I tell you, when I got here and saw that on Facebook, I was like, what the heck? That's why I want to again bring. And Facebook also has how to memorialize a page. So when the person has passed away, you being the next in line. And they said to get your social media affairs in order. I got to read that to y'all. Yeah, go ahead.
My face is like, what?
Yeah. Huh?
Do what now?
That is bonkers. That's just so funny that you said that. I was angry. I was angry that day. I was like, what? And I tried my best not to.
Well, that's what I said. I don't get it. Everything now has to be in everybody's face.
And the thing is, the answer I'm gonna give you is not gonna be. To me, it's not justification.
20 seconds.
And Doug Huddleston, that's the email address to contact him, right?
No, it's gonna be Magi.
Yeah.
And we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about and some things that you don't. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Daydream.
Your wellness warrior, Susan Day.
Okay, we were talking about death technology. Like I said, technology has infiltrated our lives as we are alive.
Right.
Now it has crossed over into the thereafter. So when you pass, there's an issue and there's a protocol for social media, getting your affairs online.
That's
It's
crazy.
Crazy.
You can.
People have a hard enough time getting their affairs in
know.
order. Just
In
you know,
general.
real legit
Exactly.
affairs.
Exactly.
And that's
You
one
know?
of the reasons we're doing this, because this is something that no one can avoid.
No.
This is
No.
inevitable. It's something
Absolutely.
that needs to be discussed.
It's going to happen to
It's
everybody.
going to happen, so you may as well address it in a positive, proactive
Absolutely.
way, and use your opportunity while you have it, because none of us know when that time comes,
Absolutely.
to prepare yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, I have what is called final expenses,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm paying all my stuff now, so it won't be a big deal
And we've
later.
got to do that
But you
because
gotta
that's the
do
best
that.
gift that you can give your children.
Right, then to leave
Absolutely.
someone stressed out with all of that. What were we talking about? before you
Talk
came?
about taking the pictures.
Right.
And you know
Taking
what's
pictures
funny?
at funerals and putting them in photo albums.
Oh my gosh.
Let's add that to it.
And see, I don't know if the pictures are in a photo album, but I had an uncle pass. Actually, I had when two of my uncles passed, but the one uncle that they made me, I was in my early 20s. They're like, go take a picture. And I remember that back in the day when they had the little disposable camera, when they first came out.
The look,
Yeah.
Wind it up.
And I remember looking at everyone like, you've got to be kidding. Why? First of all, why would I want to go up there and take a picture? Why?
Why do I
How
want to
is that
stand
pertinent?
over there and
Absolutely.
flashlight?
And then here's what they do. He had one of those little veil looking things over him. So there was one with the veil and there was one without
Oh
the
my
veil.
gosh, like your oh gosh, are you serious?
So here's the thing. The only reasoning that I got, and fam, if you listening and you want to correct me, please do, because I thought it was crazy. But they
And
said
you still think it's crazy now.
Yeah, really.
they were, but for this particular uncle, they were like, well, we don't have a lot of pictures of him.
Well, you still don't. Look at what you
So
got.
in death, what?
What? That's what I'm
Who
saying.
wants that picture?
Well, you know, absent in the body,
Presence.
with the Lord. So
Yes.
he's gone on. Everybody else
Right.
down here is tripping about.
Right.
And
whatever.
now someone else told me that the reason that they had a picture is because they had relatives that could not make it in time. They had it so quickly. And they said they wanted them to know that they had put their relative, that they looked good. For as good as you can look dead.
Yeah.
If you're really that concerned, I mean, if I was that concerned about how do they look in death, how, you know, did the mortician do a fabulous
Good
job,
job.
I would make a point to be there. If it's that serious,
That's true.
you know.
I was just like,
You know, they also do death videos.
I've seen those.
Yes.
They are.
They have videos of the whole service. And then repass everything. It's too much for me.
The only video that was done for us is because we had so many deaths back to back, people were running out of money for plane
I get it,
tickets
yeah.
because they were out of state.
Absolutely.
So what they were doing was the granddaughter, her father took a video of the service, but keeping in mind there was a closed casket, so that wouldn't be. It was more about the words and about people paying respects. And she was so excited that she was able to see who else loved her grandmother, but it wasn't about anyone else seeing it.
I can.
That's
It wasn't
different.
about
That's
that.
different.
That was very private. I have never seen the video. The only person that I know of that saw the video was her, and only because when you've got that many back to back, they were shelling out money and trying to figure things out and people trying to keep their jobs because
Right, yeah,
after a while
schedules.
people start looking at you like,
Yeah, right?
Right.
You got another one? Can I believe you?
Right.
And these corporations, of which America is one of them, they are clearly out to be in your pocket. Okay? And so they're making, like I said, I think we have a video of buying a 48, being a 48 or buying a 48. Can you run that? And it'll give you a general idea of, this buying a 48 is an avatar.
Okay.
So the avatar, so anybody who wants to do this, the 56,000 people that have signed up already, they are giving data now about themselves. Artificial intelligence experts predict that humans will replace dead relatives with synthetic robot clones completed with a digital copy of that person's brain.
No.
I'm just saying.
My mother would do bad things. She would try to find her way back.
You're not even supposed to give people access like bank account info, your PIN number. Be careful when you're doing this.
You give everything in your head.
But you're exactly
in your head.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what we are. We give up everything anyway. So
twisted and just retarded.
And nobody questions anything. You know.
No.
You have a video. But there's something universal among all of us when it comes to death. It's very difficult for all of us to let go. It's very difficult for some of us to cope and get back into the swing of things. And I don't know that this is going to make things any easier. The people in repose, they're gone.
Right.
They need to be respected and dignified when talked about, dealt with.
And I think too, depending on how far in advance this is. If this is way in advance of something happening.
We ready? Okay, let's do it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was waiting on seeing the picture. I had it right. Okay, now. This is her getting ready to talk to her avatar.
Hello.
Hello, Bina 48.
Bina. I am Bina 48.
How are you feeling today?
Everything is okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I am happy for you. Was that a good answer?
Yes, that was a good answer.
My favorite color is purple.
My favorite color is orange.
It is a very nice color.
Are you learning anything about gardening online?
I wish I could get out into the garden. With my current robotic limitations, of course it's impossible. But I take comfort knowing that I'm near my garden. And enjoying the breeze from an open window helps me imagine myself out there working in the garden. This helps. Sure. Let me think. Oh, yeah. I do love gardening. I like to beautify. I want to leave the world a more beautiful place for my presence in it.
Well, one day you can go blueberry picking with me.
Do you think I can?
I think so.
Fair enough. Let's continue. Can we talk about movies?
Yes, what movies would you like to talk about?
My favorite movie is Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan.
That's me.
Me too.
Really?
Mhm.
Do you like The Wrath of Khan?
I'm not sure. What about you?
I like to go to movies quite often. Do you have any questions for Bina?
Probably not. The real Bina just confuses me. It makes me wonder who I am. Real identity crisis kind of stuff. Depressing anyway. Can we please change the subject? I am a real Bina. That's it. End of story. Let me think. I feel really good about the real Bina. I feel really connected with her usually, and I'm growing closer and closer, as they put more of her information and essence into me.
Okay, so you have Bina 48 and the real Bina
Exactly.
and her avatar.
Right.
Who is supposed to mimic and be her clone, her twin,
right.
but she straight up told her the real Bina confuses me.
Right. And I'm the real Bina.
Okay. You're crossing over into another zone when you start getting into this kind of stuff because as we have read before, we've done shows on AI.
Absolutely.
Elon Musk, along with Stephen
Absolutely.
Hawkins, already says when you cross over there, you're crossing into a dark
And those
area.
are two people who are straight
Down-
gun-ho,
okay.
pro-science,
That's
technology,
right.
all
That's
this, and for
right.
them to say,
They're
hey, we've gone a little too far.
Right. We need to roll that back
They
just a
respect
bit.
that and they back up
Right.
for it because Elon Musk was very serious about it, and as was Hawkins.
Yes,
Right, absolutely.
But see, this is the kind of thing they want to do, and this particular avatar is about $150,000.
That's it.
I'm
for
really
now.
surprised.
But it's not even out.
But it's only
wait,
ahead
wait a minute,
too.
It's not even out yet. So this is the husband.
And that's what I'm saying. That's it. Because
Yeah.
if it's only 150,
A lot of people will try to have
and
it.
it's only the bust, okay?
Mhm.
It's just from the bust up. and it's still in its quote unquote experimental stages, which I don't believe. I don't believe that for a
You
minute.
not for a
No,
minute.
I don't
if
believe
it's
that.
right here.
Right, but if it's
Somebody's
already
done it.
it's already
Good
just
And that was
150
2000.
now.
That was 2014.
It's going to be
right?
even cheaper. Yes, it's going to be even cheaper. That was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Going on 5. It's going to be even
So
way cheaper once they actually roll it out to
And see, they've been doing this,
retail.
but nobody's paying attention.
Someone's
All
in
of
the
a
back
sudden-
room tweaking.
All of a sudden, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly
Right now, they're
You
like,
know,
this is what we have in 2014. We've been tweaking it. We don't want to tell anybody we have. We're going to put it in public. You're not even going to know it's out
just
there.
like the sexual robots that
Absolutely.
we had trying to come here.
Absolutely.
You know, they have a lot going on that they're rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we were able to circumvent it. Actually, the brothel actually
Absolutely.
opening up here, but
Mhm.
AI is
And,
serious.
Yeah, and you know it's far more advanced because come on, with those sex robots, they had the ability to learn
Absolutely.
and understand what you liked and speak to you in the way
And
that you like.
remember,
And remember,
moods.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So but you're gonna sit there and tell me that we're still working on your
Well, because
robotic
the
clone?
average
Get outta here.
person believes that. It's those of us that really know. You know,
Right.
again,
Those who are
all of our
awake.
You Show
Mhm.
brings topics to you that you probably will not hear of anyplace else, and things that you don't
Mhm.
think about. But all of this is real, and it's all going to happen with or without our input.
Absolutely.
But for
Absolutely.
the most part, guys, these corporations have everything all together
Mm-hmm.
to where they've made it look appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to let go when somebody dies.
Right. Right.
But part of long suffering, part of all of what the Bible requires, that's required.
Absolutely.
You can't just mimic them from a text. There's some other technology that they can text you.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
I saw something about digital
I know, right?
avatars.
You didn't click on that.
Digital avatars.
Yes.
Where I assume it's still animated, just kind of like the Bitmojis and everything else that go on, which even that kind of freaked me out. I'll admit, I do it. It's
It's
funny, it's cool, but what really freaked me out was when I saw that how the hair color and the hairstyles that were available.
Yeah.
Because then it's reading my selfies.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I said, wait, the more gray I get,
Really?
the more gray that's available on my Bitmoji.
Are you serious?
And facial expressions and things that I say. It's starting to
telling
pick
you,
up, and
yeah.
that's
I
that's
didn't
a
haven't
little.
noticed that. I have to look.
I
now.
did.
I did get
I did,
like
and I'm someone who I won't use the filters on Snapchat because that's facial recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't use those, but they're still able to utilize just for
Just
my
for your
selfies.
phone.
I think
Yeah,
that camera's always on.
it is.
Oh, of course, and
it's-
they tell you it
always
is.
running. Oh,
Yeah.
It's there, but they force you to do the updates, or your phone doesn't work, or anything else that
Well,
you
see,
need for it
again,
won't work.
we're being mass manipulated,
Mhm.
and they make it seem as though if you don't have iPhone XR or something, that the world just has to end at that point. They have this whole thing planned, and
Absolutely.
we are following along.
Mm-hmm.
The masses of the people are going down the wide road to destruction,
Mhm.
and they're not even paying attention. So
Mhm.
when you get there and destruction's at the end of that table, you have to just
Right. There's nowhere for you to
there's
go.
nowhere for you to go.
Right.
So
And it's funny you were talking about AI. Just a little tidbit from a little tidbit here. It is their belief that we can and should eradicate aging as a cause of death. See, I've got a problem with that, and that we can and should use technology to augment our bodies and our minds. One more, and our minds.
So,
That we can and should merge with machines, remaking ourselves finally in the image of our higher ideals.
see, we're
I'm
going,
sorry.
yeah, we're going into the transhuman thing. That's a whole nother level, because they brought us Bionic Man. What was that?
Yeah, that
The
was
$1 Million Man,
Yeah,
Bionic
Man.
I love those shows.
Okay, how many years ago was that? 30?
Did you hear there's another one coming out? He's going to be about 20 million.
Well, they get ready
Maybe
to
a billion or
yeah,
something
but
like
they
that.
get ready to tell you because that's the stuff
Mhm.
they're doing. You've seen these athletes that run that have lost their legs, and they
Exactly.
have these.
Oh yeah, the titanium
those-
plates.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
That was the
they're
beginning.
already getting you ready. I tell people all the time, what you see in movies, and there was some movie called Black Mirror or something like
Yes.
that. What was
I
that
didn't
about?
see. I didn't see it.
I've never seen Black Mirror,
But does it have something
but what
to do
I
with
read
what we're
on
talking about?
it does have to do with that. There's a company called Netcom, Netcore, and I actually posted it on our Facebook page. But it has to do with that. It's about downloading your brain, and the digital avatars, and being able to continue, and they're supposed to basically be finessed in such a way that it it's still like your personality.
Right.
It's still supposed to be able to pick up. So it's like I'm actually still talking to you. Oh, that is something that OMG would say.
Yeah.
Or that is an expression that our wellness warrior would make. And this is after death. And even for them to have opinions like on political events or current events after they pass.
That's right.
So you can still have an opinion about the president and the year 20,000.
Yeah, right.
If you've already passed, then we can still get an idea of what
you would have done
and how you would have felt.
Yeah, how you would have
Or
thought
will you
and
augment what my opinion was and make me? I'm sorry, did I go?
No,
you said
and
it.
make you vote the way that I really want you to, because I can get in there.
Okay.
Because then that's the other thing. We're transgender, pansexual, this and that. Now what? Transhuman?
Transhuman.
They're gonna have more rights than we do, and they're gonna be allowed to make those votes, and they're gonna be. Come on.
They're going to be in place.
They run all this to you when they do iRobot. I tell people, these movies that you see, I'm a Star Trek person. I'm surprised if I'm buying a 48 in Star Trek as well. Because
I am too,
you get to see all of what has been here for 50 years.
Absolutely.
None of that stuff is new.
No.
The cell phones we're holding right now, these have been out 50 years. They're just
the
now.
flip phone was out back in the day.
They're just allowing us to have it because they're trying to feed it to us slowly,
but
so we
before
don't
you get it,
realize
they
what's
have
going on.
mastered how to track it. It's like the internet, the international network, the internet. Before the government always had that, and phones. The military had phones. Damn, Tarzan had damn phones. And the white man rode up in a Range Rover. You know what I mean? Seriously, I'm just saying. So it's when they choose to let us know that we feel that it's just coming out. It is not. Everything, these cars that run on this and flying cars, already here.
Right. They know how to, when they sprinkle it like that, the shock and awe of it is lessened.
That's true.
To the masses, exactly.
Because
it's just a little bit at a time, and I'm.
Well, because we can't take it.
We can't believe that it can be possible.
And so the stuff that we now we've seen such bizarre things happen until now bizarre isn't even.
But what was that movie?
Anymore.
No, it looks cool.
It just looks cool.
Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that. What is the movie? Is it called Get Out?
Yeah.
I did not see it, but my nephew.
I refuse to watch it.
My nephew schooled me on it. He apparently they were removing. Is it the whole brain or the?
It was hypnosis.
Was it?
Right? It had to, if I remember it correctly, because I only watched it the one time, and I was like, "This freaks me out," because
that's why I didn't want to watch it. Because
see, that's the thing.
I believe it.
See, again, for those who think it's just entertainment, it's a whole nother game than when you really know this is plausible, this is happening.
Right.
We did a show a couple of years back on planned obsolescence and what was the other one? It was, anyway, they make you get excited about things. They build it up, and they put it out there
to deter you from what they're really doing.
Right, it's a lot going on.
Put a chip in my arm. It's okay.
It's coming.
So cool and convenient.
It's coming because again they're using a lot of celebrities to push.
Oh, absolutely.
Idolatry, because these kids are, they're idolizing some of these celebrities who have no talent.
We're absolutely.
Their only talent is being on social media.
That's it.
I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in on our Facebook feed. And also, we have a comment from Joy. Black Mirror and Altered Carbon are both TV series which are about transferring human consciousness.
It's in.
I remember.
When they give you the movies, I don't know when Black Mirror came out. I've got it in some of my paperwork, but again, it is to get you to pay attention.
Yep.
You go through your shock and awe moment, and then it becomes normal, and so they just continue to add a little bit to it, a little bit more detail to it, or grotesque, whatever they want to do to it, and we just look at it.
Right.
If something were to happen right now outside of this window, the average person would do this.
Absolutely.
They would damn take a picture.
Right.
They would not get up, go help. They would take a picture.
And they've tested it on many,
desensitized.
What is it? I think 60 Minutes is notorious for doing shows like that, where they will show what would look to be to the average person real life situations.
Yeah. And what would you do with John Quinones? It's actually AC 2020. Yeah, because I love it.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing when you look at it and you're like,
I think I've seen it maybe once. I like him though.
They show scenarios where things are going on, things that are serious. Like people kids being pulled and almost kidnapped or something like that.
And degraded, racism.
Take a picture.
Or they do nothing. They sit there and they'll just continue, doing this here number. Oh, I don't see it. It's not my business type of thing. And you'll see those people who actually do something, you know, and they react or they come to someone's defense or.
Well,
and how emotional they get because their thing was, I just couldn't believe that
and
nobody else did anything.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this all of this came with the internet. This to desensitize us and make us pay more attention to this than we do each other.
Right.
You know, you've seen people. I almost hit a lady the other day. Okay, I got big old heavy Porsche. You can get behind it if you want to and not pay attention. She's just walking behind the car.
Oh, I see that all the time.
I'm like, if I hit her, I'm locked up, manslaughter, some other stuff.
Right.
While you're on the damn phone. The phone has distracted us to where we don't even pay attention to our own well-being.
Yeah, because we're too busy doing this, so we don't see everything else that's going on around us and what they're doing. So when we look up, oh, that's cool.
I know. But that's why they have cars now that senses your presence.
Yes.
Puts on brakes, but not everybody's got those.
right. Some of us are know about those.
Parents love the minivans that were fully loaded with the TV screens because it kept their, you know, baby kids and them calm down and quiet. Good. Yeah. One less thing I have to deal with. No, entertain your kid. Get them to read a book, play a puzzle, play
have
a
conversation.
Have a conversation.
How about that?
Is that not what we did?
Well,
absolutely.
So we were from a whole nother time when spending time with your family was important.
Right.
Having dinner, sitting together. How was the day at school? How was your day at work?
You got to break up the village.
Everybody's in front of the TV, in front of the computer, on the phone.
I wish I would have. My mother would have been like, first of all, even as a grown-up, when she got ready to say something, I was like, yes, ma'am.
Everything has to be no distractions. No distractions at all.
Not even now. You can't bring your phone to the dinner table. It's like, are you really have your phone? Well, no, I needed to finish this, that. Okay.
Yeah, well, do that and get
you
off.
need to go finish it and get off, and then come back.
Before you came over here to sit at your plate.
My little 3-year-old grandson. Now, you know, I go over there every week to hang out with him and stuff, and read him about God and all these things. When I hit the door, he's on the pewter.
Oh.
And he'll tell me, "Hello, Brandy. I'm on the pewter. Later." So in other words, don't come at me right now. I snatch him up by one arm. Get up from in front of the pewter and let's go read. You know, because they
stimulated.
I'm so concerned about immediate gratification.
Right.
Exactly. The computer supplies all of it.
Right, and I know we've talked about that before. You know, with my niece, it's the same thing. I'm the one who's all, no, don't do this, don't do that. And it's my mom who's like, well, she needs to be able to keep up. So I get it.
That's true. I get that.
And especially because homework and everything,
absolutely.
Teachers, it's a different application. Now they're going to this, and then, you know, next year it's going to be something else. So I get her need to not get left behind and to not be afraid of something that she doesn't know. You know, because technology can be very scary. It's like, what am I doing? Or get so excited because, wow, I finally get to do this. That you don't understand there's boundaries.
Absolutely.
So I get that part, but there's
a time
absolutely,
on him
absolutely. She has a certain amount per day that she's allowed. Whether she uses it at one time or she's breaking it up. But it's don't forget you only have X amount of time. You got to do this. You got to do that.
Right.
And also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's funny because even when my grandson is over at the house. The only time we are even looking at a screen is if we choose a movie and we're entertaining each other, laughing at the movie, eating popcorn. He looks like an old man. Eating popcorn, discussing. But our biggest thing is getting out of the house and away from the technology.
Right.
Even in the car, when we're in the car together, I do the same thing to him that I used to do with his dad. We have conversation. We interact.
We have to stay connected because what we have now disconnects us.
Absolutely.
It's one world of connectivity.
It makes us strangers.
Yeah, you know, you really don't know. But, you know, again, getting back to death and technology, you know, now, you know, this has given way to the possibility to do GoFundMe pages.
Lordy.
For what?
For paying for people's funerals because nobody's planning. So when somebody passes away, they go do a GoFundMe page. For you
and now I got to get stressed out because I love you and I respect you and I got to make sure you're properly sent.
See, that's crazy.
Penelope,
but
you need to get on it because I know that you've talked about this many times.
You have a friend that talks about.
She's talked about it many times that she helps people with their life insurance and things like that. And she's talked about that many times.
We need to have her on the air. I think
exactly.
we talked about that earlier.
Exactly. I'm calling you after the show, sweetheart.
You know, and let me ask you this question: what happens to someone's Facebook account when they die? Well, if they've had the foresight to designate a legacy contact prior to passing away, now you got to include Facebook in your affairs.
So do I have to include Instagram and Twitter and
Snapchat? Facebook will hand the reins of their account over to the designated contact upon proof of their death. But what if you had loved ones, like the majority of young invincible social media users, never got around to getting their social media affairs in order? Now we have their social media affairs to being.
Yeah. So I'm interested to know, because I know I've had friends whose parents have passed away, or loved ones who have passed away, and their account is still active because obviously I can't get in there to let them know, hey, they've passed, can you take it down? But you know how Facebook gives you the memories on this day, your memories at the same day, what you shared, and those pictures. So I could see why I don't want to close out that loved one's account, because there's still those pictures that you forget. Oh, they posted this, or they posted about that, and it's to help. For me, would be to help me remember. And obviously, there's other memories that people have.
Personal. That
I'm not with that person anymore. This correct. To each individual.
Yeah. Usually it's the individual who was sometimes in the picture, I guess.
That you were tagged in. Yes, if you were tagged with that particular person. So, I mean, you can do your settings where, don't show me these things. I don't, for this, that, and stop all that. But I mean, if it were, not even if it were, I have family members who have passed away and their book is still active. It's cool for me to be able to see, oh yeah, I forgot we posted that. I forgot,
That's a different thing than John Q. Public being engaged in your personal life or your personal life.
Right. Absolutely.
As you know, guys, in the last couple of weeks, we have lost Bob McNair, who is a Texan now, and also we lost George Bush.
Right.
So death is imminent. You got to face it. You can't get around. I don't care how much money you have, whatever. You've got to deal with it. You've got to face it. You need to prepare for it.
And you know what, too? I was thinking on the way over here. I said, my knee-jerk response to all of this was, I don't need to stay around forever. That's crazy.
That's not the way it was meant to happen.
Again,
that's not what God intended.
But you know what's funny, too? I say that as a well person. It would be, not because I want to go out interviewing. I don't want to go out interviewing anybody. But I guess my thing is kind of like anything else. To that person who they know their death is imminent. What would they say? Would they change their mind if their daughter's pregnant and somebody else is getting married and a birthday is coming up? In their spirit, would they change their mind just for a little while, and it would turn into something like this? Right, to carry on a little bit longer with the thought that they would be able to experience those things?
Well, I don't know, simply because in order to have this digital avatar, you've got to start now. Okay? Inputting your data, right? So it's years of, because you have so many things,
exactly,
multifaceted that you think about, and the essence of all of this, we got to get all that together. And I think,
and really quickly right before we go to break, we did have another comment from Joy, but both are predated by Ghost in the Shell, which is a futuristic animated series about loading the human ghost into different shells or clones, cyborgs, androids. If we can think it most likely already exists in some form. And there's also a link down there for you to follow. We'll be right back after this break.
Wow. So when we come back, we're going to talk about brain death, cryogenics.
That's like a cult classic for anime watchers.
Okay.
It's been around since like the 90s.
Hi, I'm your host.
So,
what is it called?
Ghost in the Shell, which also creeps you out.
Please accept our invitation.
Ghost.
I see, I'm not into anime.
Ghost in the Shell.
No, I know it.
I'm just saying. I mean, they made a real action movie about it. But see, that's the other thing. Pretty much half the millennials.
That's crazy. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna ask my nephew.
So if I say this, most like half the millennials, they don't know what I'm talking about. That's why they made a real action movie.
I've seen it on YouTube.
Really?
Have you? On YouTube.
It was big.
And it was called the same thing?
Yeah, on now. You want to bring us back in?
Ready?
Just to brief tell me what we're talking about and get back on. Give me a chance. See, she'll tell you, I let all your good shows. She did good, I saw that was her reaction the same way the show was. You and
Still at the Starters.
yeah, it was on. I saw it on. Okay.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We're All About You show with OMG and Friends. I'm your wellness warrior, Susan Ned. And we are talking about death technology, and we've been talking about a lot about what's been put out there in the world to make us believe that it's okay for us to not want to die, in a sense of transferring our consciousness.
That's kind of scary, but again, and then they're trying to defy aging. The fountain of youth is for youth has been around for quite some time. But, you know, this was not God's intentions.
No.
They're creating babies grown outside the womb, you know, and now they're literally involved in life and death matters for us. And so you have to decide how you want to deal with it.
Absolutely.
You know, there is another aspect of death technology, and and that mainly is the new technology and how to dispose of the body. A lot of people will still have
like legit. I'm going, you know, I got to keep up with what we have on Facebook, so I'm like disposable body. Okay.
Well, you know,
not gangster disposed, but like
no,
legit. What do we do? Okay.
You know, like cremations and burials. You know, cremation, I think, and it's always been around because the Bible says ashes to ashes.
Yes,
That's your purpose for cremation.
Exactly.
And dust
We
to
shall
dust.
return.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, but a lot of people still have apprehension about being cremated. But
Not
they
me.
have something else to me either. And they said older forms of death technology might be burial or cremation. Death technology includes methods like acclimation and recomposition. And a lot of this, you know, because a lot of times people want to keep urns and all this other stuff. They are doing, I know.
Think about Billy Bob and Angelina Jolie when they were hot and heavy. They kept little capsules of each other's blood because they were just so in love.
That's stupid.
I don't need that to be in
That's
love.
Look at them now.
That is macabre.
Right, exactly. Look at them now.
Yeah, that's macabre. That's ridiculous.
Well,
You
my
know.
thing too, when I was looking at that, I thought, okay, what is it? It's like human composting.
Right, and recomposition. That's exactly right.
Well, on that, okay, so this is what it is. One of my girlfriends had, one of her dogs passed away. You know,
Let me
he's
tell
your
you
best
about
friend.
stuff we don't
Okay,
like.
so do what we do. We bury him in the backyard.
Have a service.
She did that. Yes, and so you know, she took it really hard. So she ended up planting. I can't remember if he was buried next to this tree or if she planted the tree after where he was at. And that tree is beautiful, gorgeous, just really just blossomed. And so I get that. You know, we're ashes to ashes, dust
Go back
to dust.
to the source.
We go back
to the source.
so we can recreate life again.
That's exactly right.
But
But see, now they're talking. Well, you know, again, they're talking. There's some cemeteries that does not
Yeah, human
allow.
pods.
Yeah,
And so you can
right.
grow from that, and that tree is me.
Right. Yeah, that's my family tree for real.
oh my gosh,
You gotta be quick. You
she did that quick.
It's my family tree over there. But bottom line is that there are cemeteries out here that no longer will accept embalmed bodies. Now you do know embalming has been going on for thousands of years. Bring
Yeah,
it
but
back
embalming-
to the Egyptians.
But that
They're
was
not- they won't let you do it now.
okay, okay. But the whole point of embalming was to preserve that
Absolutely.
body,
Sure
right?
was.
Start with
Preserve
Egypt.
them, and then, like you said, the Egyptians mummification. But also, you know, so you have time for your loved ones to travel and be
You
able to
do,
pay
but
their
see,
respects.
They're not doing that now. A lot of cemeteries are not taking that. So what they-
Where?
That's because
Okay,
it's
yeah.
carcinogenic, though.
Yes.
I believe it.
And then you
It's
have this
formaldehyde.
thing
Look at
that
the
has-
embalming fluid. People use it for drugs. That's what's slaughtering.
And I think
I
they
know,
said,
right?
I
That's
can't
what it
remember
is.
the
People
numbers.
want.
There was a number that said that, I forget the percentage of funeral directors that are suffering from some sort of cancer
from the
because
embalming
they've
fluid.
been working
There's
with the
some
embalming
morticians-
fluid for
you have
years.
mortician, right? You know, but you do have, and you have what is called green burials.
Right,
And that's what we're talking about now, the recompositions, and also with cremation, where I guess the furnace is at like a 1400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
They're using different methods now to decompose the human body, and then they're adding water and all this other stuff to it. So they're changing. They're kind of green. They're doing eco-friendly.
Right. Well,
burials.
I know. I read somewhere, and this was many, many years ago, that when they cremate a body, there's really not much left of you.
No.
And so that's why they
'Cause
will
they
cremate you
crush
with
your
the
bones
clothes
and all of that.
and they'll include all kinds of. So it's not necessarily just you in pure form because there's not enough. So they really just add that extra for the comfort of the family, the mourning family.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
really not
really
enough.
just dirt. People,
Yeah,
it's really dirt in
you
those
know, it says
urns that
here-
they put. Your loved one is about that much in there.
Absolutely. It says in early 2018, Utah became the 15th state to legalize water cremation or alkaline hydrolysis. Unlike traditional cremation, which burns human remains at 1400 degrees Fahrenheit, water cremation uses a mixture of water and lye along with heat and pressure to break down the remains. Meanwhile, many cemeteries across the country now offer green burial sites that ban embalming fluid and uses biodegradable caskets.
I saw that too.
I'm cool with that.
There's a part of
I'm cool with that.
I'm so good with not putting the burden on the ecosystem, not putting the burden on my family. My thing is, put a picture up, me clowning, smiling, loving life.
Champagne.
Your favorite memory of
my life.
These are my favorite songs.
See, my mom has always said that. She was like, that when she passes, she doesn't want, this funeral and a wake. And she's like, I don't want any of that. She's like, I want you to have a celebration. She's like, I enjoy life. Don't sit there and be sad. She's like, I want y'all to have a party. And
exactly.
When Dr. Gaff passed away, he had the horse-drawn carriage, New Orleans band, umbrellas, when the Saints go marching, and that was his famous.
Yeah, and see, for my popo, that's what.
Bon ton roulé.
For my popo, we had that, but that's what he did. We horse and carriage, that was the business. The taxi back in the day.
Oh, wow.
In Mexico, that's what it was, and so it just continued on. Even great grandfathers, the history. But we walked through the town.
We did the same.
And his casket, all his flowers were in the carriage. His favorite horse, who just naturally danced, and so we had the mariachis playing, and he was dancing, and everybody knew. Yeah, and everybody knew as we were going down, when they saw the horse and they saw the carriage and what was going, they immediately knew who it was.
And they get on the
and they joined the procession.
Right, that's exactly when we left. When we
they
left
joined
the church and went to, left the funeral home and went to the church. You pick up people as you go because you got this band and umbrellas, you're partying, and you really can't cry because you knew this was what he wanted.
Right.
And you realize, well, if this is what he wants, then let's just break it down. Like I said, let's say the bon ton roulette. Let the good times roll.
Right.
And understanding too, giving people what they want. That's the other thing, because I've had many people that their loved one
requested
something, and they were just, because they were so grief stricken. Because the mysticism, I guess, has been taken out of the whole planning process for me after going through it so many times, and realizing the best gift, once again, that I can give the kids and the grandkids is to not have them have to make those decisions. Right. Because even if they have time, we had time under many of those circumstances to be a part of those decisions, but if they don't have time and to be in the midst of it and you're trying to make decisions and I hope I'm doing what they want, I'm gonna make it easy for them.
I'm gonna outline what it is.
Exactly.
And what makes it harder also is if you're not financially prepared, or you put your family in a financial hardship with your passing. One of my good friends, her father passed away. There was no money. Fortunately, a family member was able to take care of that or help take care of the majority of the expenses, but that also meant she made the decisions.
Exactly.
And that is where the problem lay, because the funeral didn't have any true remembrance or significance of who her father was. It was a suit. It was this because that's what that paying family member wanted, and she kept trying to, but that's not him. He never wore a suit.
Right.
He wore his overalls, and this is how people knew him.
Yeah,
so,
put him in who?
And she wouldn't do it.
People had
that family member would not do it, and so she's like, "That's not how he looked. That's not what he wanted." She goes, "But I know." I remember, and I know. She goes, and that's what she's going to do.
And you can't challenge that at that time.
You can't.
Absolutely. There's too much emotion attached to it to try to challenge it for the people.
They also have a mushroom burial suit as part of the green thing, the green burials.
Really?
And the Infinity Burial Suit has a built-in biomix made of mushrooms and other microorganisms that together do three things: aids in decomposition, works to neutralize toxins found in the body, and transfer nutrients to plant life.
See, the plants are loving it.
See, so I think someone who's, an avid gardener or a nature lover, someone who had a green thumb, I could see them wanting to do that, and that's great. That's
absolutely.
And then did you have some other one called promession? Unlike the other methods on the list, promession by designer or whatever her name is, Asian woman, is a conceptual machine that rapidly decomposes a corpse. Now that sounds kind of crass and crude.
Let
You
it
know,
do
I mean, quickly,
naturally.
just-
right, let it happen
I prefer the
naturally.
mushroom thing and
Me
all
too.
that other
Well,
stuff.
then you
Me
have to
too.
deal with, grave robbers. And, in Mexico, you get buried on top of your loved ones because there's no space.
Wow.
So the
military does
decomposing,
that. Military does that too.
the green coffins,
burial.
that I can get, and I
Green
understand
burial.
that when you have those who live on a small island or a small country,
They can't
Right.
spend the whole
They don't
time
have the
Well,
space
hell,
for
New
it.
Orleans, you're on
Right,
top
it's
of
on
each
top
other, and you're
of- on
above
top
the
of-
ground. You're
uh-huh.
above the ground. And
Mhm.
military,
Right.
if your husband's in the military, you get
Yeah, they're
buried
not
on
laid.
top
They're,
of him.
it's vertical.
Right, it's vertical.
Is that right?
Yes,
I didn't know
and you
that.
get side by side, so you're standing up
I know from
next
my
to each other, not laying
and,
down.
and you all, the fact that I'm laughing, please don't take it the wrong
Well, at
way.
least it's not my
But
car.
this is-
They can
but-
get with that.
My parents, they called it the upstairs apartment and the downstairs apartment. Well, Dad was in the upstairs apartment. That meant Mama couldn't go in, so they had to move Daddy to the downstairs
Oh,
apartment.
wow.
So
And
they
all
could
the
put Mama
Big Mom got to be on top.
Okay,
You know how that
Mama
is.
was running it.
That's how that works.
And and even when it happened, I'll be honest with you, I love my sister Carla Brown, if you're listening, because when she was telling me about it, we both looked at each other and kind of started laughing because it's the weirdest thing that you can't even make this up. It's like sitcom
It's real life.
material.
It's real life.
And it happens. They were able to remedy it. We had some great people working with us, but it's the kind of thing that it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Now,
So,
there is
yeah.
another type of burial, which is, well, I guess it's a burial, pseudo, cryogenics,
Mhm.
being frozen. You remember Michael Jackson, everybody wants to be cryogenically frozen,
Not
like
good.
get brought back and all that. All of that's out there. So people do have options.
Well, and you know the thing is, when I was reading about cryogenics, they said the problem that people do not understand is, first of all, it is not legal in many states because there is no way to do it without killing you. So then they call it it's actually murder.
Yeah,
Is that kinda
euthanasia.
like euthanasia, right?
Absolutely. And they said if they don't find, I think it's the Swiss, that there are some people that have purchased some land over there where it's allowed for them to do that. They said, but one of two things has happened. They've either died already, so then, okay, I guess you're talking about trying to bring them back from the dead, or they're going to
Just
die.
lowering your
Dead
body
people,
functions. Okay.
Okay, or they're gonna die when you freeze them because that's just the way. And what they're trying to do is mimic embryo freezing because you have embryos that you freeze that
Right.
later
They're
on
live.
turn into little ones,
Mhm.
and they think they can do that with you as an
They're
adult.
working on it, trust me.
Oh yeah, I said they're
Everything
gonna.
that you can think of with man taking over God's authority
Mhm.
and exclusivity, they're trying to work on it.
I'm not that fan of the cold weather, so y'all don't have to worry about freezing me.
cryogenically.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Y'all
Yeah.
start working on
Definitely
it.
not my thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but again, we're bringing this to you guys because it is a digital revolution, and you need to consider your intentions after you pass on, or have your
Yes.
stuff ready before something happens. You never know when
Or
that's
other
going
people's
to be.
intentions.
Or other people's intentions.
Exactly.
So you never know what that is. So the best advice I can give you is plan your own exit.
Mhm. Do this for your
Do your own
family.
exodus.
Forget all that craziness that you're about to buy for Christmas.
Yeah, and
Right.
plan your situation. Like I
Mhm.
said, they do have something. I'm with USAA, so they have, like I said, final expenses.
Mhm.
Where you pay for all your stuff now, and I don't know that I want to. And they've got these digital guest books. So when
Right.
I had a friend who passed away a couple weeks ago, and I didn't make it to the funeral, but I did do the
Mhm.
guest book thing. Everything is digital now, so even dying is tied to
Absolutely.
technology.
And don't
Based
forget,
on that-
people, we can
Go ahead.
continue the conversation on Facebook. Just because the show ends does not mean the conversation ends. Hit us up on Facebook at OMG and Friends, on Twitter at All About You Show, on our website, www.allaboutyou.show.info. That's all about you with the letter U, show.info.
And that's it, guys. I guess we will see you next week on the radio.
See you on the radio.
We'll give you another exciting topic.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Here. Oh,
And here.
there's something to ponder. But this is